Kanye West is a fucking bellend.
This is what Phil says, and what Phil says is this.
So I'm sure you've all heard about what happened at the Grammys the other night, where Beck was winning Album of the Year over Beyonce because Beck had a better album than Beyonce. Sorry to all you Beyonce fans, holla! But it wasn't better as an album. Gonna come back onto that point. And then Kanye, good old Kanye West, ever the old theatrical type, he decides, you know, I'm gonna start to run up on stage and nearly steal his thunder. And then he thinks better of himself, but he's still got the limelight, hasn't he? And then he's got the interviews afterwards where he can say things like, if the Grammys want real artists to keep coming back, they need to stop playing with us. Beck needs to respect artistry, and he should have given his award to Beyonce. Beck played around 14 instruments for his album. Beyonce doesn't play an instrument. Yes, she can dance, yes, she can sing. Doesn't play any instruments though. I get that Beck might not be as good a dancer, but he can dance. In the Sex Laws video, he dances like a motherfucker. But just because Beyonce can do one thing and Beck can do another, doesn't mean they're not both artists. And he also accused the Grammys of diminishing art and not respecting the craft. The craft of what? Crafting some radio bullshit that people can dance to? Because I'll tell you what, I listened to the whole of Beyonce's new album, which was entitled Beyonce, and I didn't like it. It's the same fucking album that she's been putting out for 10 years. It's the same thing. She needs like 4 people to write a song with her. Beck wrote all of them songs, if not on his own, with very, very little input. If you look at the album credits, I looked at the album credits of Beck's Morning Phase, which I've listened to and is an incredible album as a whole, and then I've listened to Beyonce's. Beck's is like, what, 7, 8 people? Beyonce's is like 40. And if you need that many people, then what's the point? Okay, if you can make a best album of the year with 7 or 8 people, you're doing something right. You know, if you've got 40 odd people and you're still losing, she's never won Album of the Year, or from the Grammys at least. I don't think from anyone Album of the Year. She's won Contemporary R&B Album of the Year, but who the fuck else is in that? Nicki Minaj? Who else? Or who? Iggy Azalea? Oh, look, I'm a white Australian girl, but I sound like a black woman. Oh. And I know she's talented. I know she's talented. Crazy in Love is one of my favourite songs. Okay? I don't think that she's written anything that's better. That was written by her and Jay-Z and probably a few other writers, I'm not entirely sure. And she can write good songs with the help of 40 other people. She can write good songs which are danceable to. But an album is something different, and this is what I have had the philosophy of. When I've made albums, I don't like the idea that I have written 20 or 30 songs and then I'm just going to narrow it down to the best 12. I just try and write a good song every time, obviously, because that's what you do as a musician. You don't write a shit one and then say, oh, yeah, put that out, whatever. It's a filler track. But I like having albums as works of art. They are a singular thing. But the thing is, with Beyonce, she's good at writing songs, but an album as a whole, if you have one really good track, and you have a 12-track album, and that is the first track on the album, and then all the other 11 tracks sound like that first track, is that a good album, or is that a good song and rehashes of that good song? Because that, in my opinion, is what happens with Beyonce. She doesn't have that same idea about an album. Somebody who does, annoyingly, is Kanye West. I've listened to a few of his albums and he understands what he's doing. I still think he's up his own fucking arse, but as a musician and as a producer, he's still really talented. He knows how to form an album. So why is he having a go at Beck, who has been going since 1985 and has had so many hits that people apparently don't remember? Stuff like Loser. It was even on Glee. You know that song. Sex Laws. This is what happens when you've got long hair. And while Beyonce is in the media, that's why everyone buys her stuff. The people who buy Beck's album, they are enjoying the music. They're not buying it because, oh, it's another thing that everyone's buying. And that is why it deserves Album of the Year, because people are viewing it as just a feat of musical perfection, if you like. I don't think it's absolutely perfect. It is so much better than all the other dross that's out there. And it is a work of art as an album. He's even said that it's a companion to his, I think, 2002 album, Sea Change. And that's because Beck understands how an album works. It's a group of songs that work towards one purpose. It's not every song on it is just another chance for a single, you know. That's what it's become. That is why albums are dying out, because people are looking for singles more than they're looking for albums. The original sort of world famous albums, like the Beatles' first Please Please Me, okay, had hit after hit after hit after hit on it. But that's because it was new. This new wave of music that people could just get involved in and be, oh my god, this is amazing. But even the Beatles, they still sounded really similar, but that's because they were going for a particular style of like rock and roll slash doo-wop slash all like folk, like all of these avenues that they'd combined to make their original sound. And because they were the first ones to really do it, that's why it worked. But everyone will still buy Beyonce's next album. Apparently Beyonce and Jay-Z are bringing out a new album this year. It's been like a year since you brought out your last one, love. Calm down. Getting back to Kanye West, just for a second. I don't understand why he's so entitled. Why he thinks that as soon as Beyonce doesn't win an award, there is some sort of crime that has been made against Beyonce. Beyonce is a strong, independent woman. Why does she need Kanye backing her ass up? Why can't she just say to Kanye, I fucking hate it when you do that. Don't fucking do it. If his album was better, then his album was better. Leave it, mate. And I've seen, like, there's this Vine of Jay-Z and Beyonce's reactions as Kanye's going up, and they look fucking terrified. Do you know why? Because it looks bad on them. Just stop acting like you are the god of modern music and that you have the judgment call to say, this is shit, this is amazing, because he thinks he's a god. He thinks he's in the realms of David Bowie, Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury. He thinks he is in this fucking dream world where he's the most talented person in the world and therefore he gets the say over everything. You haven't got the say over me, motherfucker.